যেগুলো হলো আর্ট গ্লাস। ওরা খুব যত্ন সহকারে বানায়। আপনাদেরকে পুরো বানানোর প্রসেসটা আমি দেখাবো এই ভিডিওতে। এবং এই সব কাজগুলো খুব নিখুঁতভাবে ওরা করে। প্রত্যেকটার দাম, এক একটার দাম এই যে আপনাদেরকে এটাকে দেখাচ্ছি যে ওরা বিক্রি করে। এই যে ছোটো জিনিসটার দাম প্রায় 15,000 টাকা, $150 মতো। আর এখানে আমি আসছি আমার বউয়ের সাথে, ওর কোম্পানির জন্য এই গ্লাস নিচ্ছে। এগুলো অনেকটা ডোনেশনের মতো। সো এরকম সুযোগ আর হবে না। এরা এই গ্লাস যেখানে বানায় সেগুলো দেখার মতো সুযোগ মনে হয় না আর হবে। তো সেই সুযোগটা আমরা হাতছাড়া করব না। ওদেরকে আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছিলাম যে আমার বউকে যে গ্লাসটা দিয়েছে ওগুলোর দাম কত। ও বললো প্রায় $900 মতো। $900 বাংলাদেশি টাকায় প্রায় 1 লাখের মতো হয়। সেই 1 লাখ টাকার একটা গ্লাস ওরা ফ্রিতে ওর কোম্পানিকে দিয়ে দিছে। ওর গ্লাসটা অনেকটা দেখতে এরকম। আপনাদেরকে দেখাতে পারতেছি না, কারণ হলো ওরা অলরেডি প্যাকেট করে ফেলছে। সো আর এখানকার ফ্যাক্টরিতে অনেকটা ছোটোখাটো ফ্যাক্টরির মতো। এই ফ্যাক্টরিতে একজন মানুষ কাজ করে, সে পুরো গ্লাস বানায়। সেই গ্লাস থেকে আবার সুন্দর করে ডিজাইন করে এই কারুকার্য খচিত সুন্দর সুন্দর জিনিস তৈরি করে। সে একাই সব করে ফেলে।
I was letting him know that if you guys do want to come out for pallet to pallet and just share about the piece and why you guys decided to donate or whatever, just let me know.
Okay.
So.
So this is just a reheating chamber. It's just really, really hot, designed to melt the glass, heat it back up again. It runs 2,300 degrees, so it's very hot. So I'm just taking these chunks of color, heating them up to make them molten so I can actually do something with them.
What color is this going to be?
I don't know. I put them up there. I can't remember which colors were which. I put the right amount of color up when I first put it up there, but there were 6 of them on there, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing this one's a blue and teal because of the size of the chunks, but it would just be sort of a guess. Tough to tell those colors because when I'm dealing with these colors, they're actually a transparent color where you can see through it. But the pigment that's in there, the chemicals that make up the glass, they make it really dark, so that when you blow a bubble into it, it spreads it out, it becomes lighter to where you can actually see it. If you could see the color now, that would be a problem. I'm going to go right behind you here. If you could see the color now, by the time I blew it out and did whatever design work I wanted with it, it would be so light that you wouldn't even see it. So the colors are super dark right now. Just put a little puff of air in that. So this is all the color I'm picking up for the entire piece, but I take it at first. Just gonna let it cool down. The longer you sit here, the more the glass will cool down. The only way to heat it back up again is to go back into the reheating chamber or get more glass over the top of it, which is what I'm going to do, is get a little bit more glass on this. So this thing in the middle is called the furnace. It has the molten glass inside of it. So I'm dipping into that molten glass and coating it with a layer. So that is, it looks orange because it's so hot, but it will be clear glass when it's completely cooled down. So shaping it, use these tools, are called blocks. They're basically made out of wood. You dip them in water, and the glass rides on a layer of water vapor or steam inside of it.
A lot of science.
for sure.
But aren't all at the same time.
Yeah. My degree's in science and biology, so
Oh, really?
Ah,
it's always kind of ties back in that for me. So blowing a lot more air into that. Like a bigger bubble.
it's cool that it looks like just one color now.
So there, that means air, the air you pushed in, it will be trapped inside.
It is right now. I can pull it back out of it, and I
Oh.
will at some point. Now, if you look closely at this, you can see like a dark side and a light side as I roll it.
Yeah.
Those are the two colors. I don't know which is which, but they're definitely two colors. All right, so need another layer of molten glass out of the furnace. I'll come back and blow the bubble a lot bigger.
Oh, look at that. Now it's showing its beauty.
So definitely getting bigger. I'm picking up more glass
Yeah.
out of that furnace. So a bigger block I'm using here to shape it. But you can see the block steam. That's what that glass is riding on, is that layer of steam or water vapor in the bottom of that block. So it's not marking the glass to use these tools. If they weren't wet, it would definitely mark it because it would be wood. It would burn it, create ash, and the ash would stick all over the outside of the piece. Alright, so I'm going to blow a lot more air into this. And I'm going to come right towards you when I do this, so don't be scared. That's perfect. I'm heating this up, getting it really hot, and then I'm actually going to draw the air back out of it.
Look at that.
Isn't that just really cool?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. So beautiful.
It looks like candy.
So this is what creates the folds of color inside of the piece, is by doing that. So now there was a big bubble inside of the piece, and now it's all
Yeah, gone.
gone. I've drawn it back out of it. It's a solid piece of glass now. There's still going to be a few bubbles in there trapped in between the folds, but not like there was.
Which one? To the key?
Just adding to the design and pattern of this thing. So this is one of the most important tools for a glass blower, this table. It's called a Marver. It's very clean, and I can roll the glass across it and change the shape of it without actually marking it. So wait for this to cool a little bit. As it cools, it will stiffen up. That will provide support for the next layer of glass. So I'm going to get one more layer, and then I'll start working on the final shape, making the whale tail out of it.
So you don't need to worry about air, dust, other thing that comes from outside.
You do.
Will some of it just burn off though with the molten glass?
Say that again.
I said, will some of it just burn?
Yeah, I mean, if it's dust and stuff like that, that's why we wipe off the marver. That's the main thing. But anything that's in the air, because there's so much heat giving off by it, it's going to push it aside just from the amount of heat that's pouring off of it. So, I mean, you'd have to have a lot of dust in order to mark it just from being in the air.
Yeah.
But if it gets super windy, we shut the doors.
That's how I felt like on the drive over today. Just,
So
Right.
you had your training before doing so? Doing these things, you had any training?
I learned from another glass blower.
Oh.
I used to teach high school biology, and yeah, I took an early retirement there. I guess I only taught for a couple of years, but I just got into glass and learned the basics from another glass blower, and then the rest has been self-taught, just figuring it out. So, been doing it for 25 years now.
Oh no, that's long. So you are expert now.
So pulling this off the pipe now, start working on the final shape. You really start to see the
Look at
folds
that.
of color in
The
there now.
inside color. So that means you knew from the beginning how it will turn out.
I know what I want out of it. I know the folds are a little more free-form. You kind of read the glass as you're doing it.
Yeah.
No two are ever going to be alike, which is what makes them so cool. You know, they all look the same. You buy it at Walmart, but so I mean, it's just.
it's like, you see the little like bubbles that are in there?
Yeah.
So that's from when I put it
The
down on that
little-
metal plate.
Yeah.
And I put that
Look
little
at that.
waffle pattern in the
Yeah.
surface of it. And when I get the next layer,
Yeah.
I can trap it in there. If your timing and temperature's right, you'll get those little tiny air bubbles in there. I'll heat this up and I'll go to the final shape here in this heat.
I think Craig always wanted to do such things, but
I know some places do glass glasses.
so you get order from all over US,
Do what?
like you get pre-ordered to make glasses.
Yeah, I have galleries all over the country that carry my work. So
Oh.
they'll call in and order things. This is for a gallery up in Alaska. They provide these whale tails to the cruise ships that are up there. So I've actually, we got to ship out 32 of these big ones and 100 small ones
Oh,
here in the next couple of weeks.
that's nice. Look at that.
So we're going towards a final shape of a whale tail. So the points where I pulled them out there, I'm gonna heat them up just a little bit, start preheating them so they get nice and soft when we go back in. Turquoise and green are the two colors. Tough to tell, I can kind of see through it and see what they are, but now they're spread out where they're transparent enough where you can actually see them. They're still distorted because it's hot. It's not going to look like the true colors
Yeah.
I say turquoise and teal, and you guys are like, that's orange.
Looks like two different colors of orange, but okay.
Whatever, this guy's crazy. But yeah, it's, you know what the colors, you start to learn what the colors look like when they're hot.
Well, it's almost like pottery. Like
Yeah, for sure, with glazes and all that.
Yeah. Because I follow a couple of people on TikTok, and
Uh-huh.
she does like a mystery pottery thing because she got like a bunch of random opinions for it.
Okay,
So
yeah.
she'll just be like, well, we're gonna try this color. It's my new color. I don't know what it's gonna
We'll
do.
find out what it is.
Exactly. She uses it as like her chess pieces, you know.
That's cool. So swinging it stretches the piece out and makes it taller. It was a little short. Want to make sure that it gets plenty of height on it here. So this guy is pretty much done. Just a little water on there where I want it to break off.
So what does water do there? It kind of fracture, makes fracture.
It cools it down.
It
Oh.
will, I mean, if I left the piece out, it would fracture into a million pieces. And it would just blow it apart. So you can kind of see the color if I hold it up.
Yes.
A little bit more green in there. So when I break the piece off to put it away, you guys are welcome to come over here. I'll break it off the pipe, tap the pipe with a hammer, sends vibrations up there, breaks it off at its weakest point,
Look at that.
and then it'll go in the oven. So these ovens are like 900 degrees, so they're very, very hot.
So what does it do? You do here, like
So what'll happen is it'll equalize the temperature at 900 degrees. So the whole thing, inside out, top, bottom, the points, everything will become 900 degrees. So it'll soak in there for about 5 hours. And then once that happens, the computer will take it and cool it down degree by degree until it gets down to room temperature. That's a really, really slow cooling over 2 days. So it starts at 900, cools it down to room temperature. Yeah, exactly. That's why there's so many of these, because all those pieces that are in there, it'll take 2 days for them to cool all the way down. So if I just left that whale tail out, the surface of it's going to cool really quickly. The core down inside of it's going to stay hot, and once there's a drastic temperature difference between the inside and outside, it will literally blow it apart, which is really cool. Not exactly what we want, so
You can't really sell that.
yeah, it's harder. It's harder to sell shards. So put it in the oven and let it cool down nice and slow.
yeah.
So will you reuse the glass that's on the floor?